I'm Chris Marshall, field editor for Woodworkers Journal magazine, and we're here in SawStop's booth talking with Patty Terrazino about a great home shop SawStop saw. Let's hear a little bit more about the virtues of this saw. Patty, could you show us around this saw a little bit?
So those of you that might not know about SawStop and what SawStop is, just a basic, quick, is SawStop is the only table saw that knows the difference between your finger and a piece of wood. There's a brake mechanism inside the saw that tests the voltage on the blade, making sure there's 3 volts on the blade, everything is good to go. If it is not, you happen to touch the blade, the voltage drops, the system responds and acts, stopping the blade 5 milliseconds so that an injury, I don't know if you can see this, but is merely a nick instead of loss of digits. So that is what brings people to our saw, makes them interested in our saw. But this is our new table saw that we have on the market. We've been selling a 3 horsepower, 5 horsepower, 7.5 horsepower cabinet saw for some time now. Now we have a 1 3/4 horsepower table saw for the home hobbyist at home. Sometimes they don't need the Mac Daddy, the 3 horsepower industrial version. So we wanted to accommodate that, make it a little lower price point. So this is the fully loaded 1 3/4 horsepower table saw. Some of the features that step it up from other 1 3/4 horsepower saws. We have dust collection within there, a shroud around the blade, goes out through a tube in the bottom there. You hook a tube up to the port, out through a steel plate, give you better dust collection. This table saw also has a blade guard assembly, as do most table saws.
Which is quick release style.
Which is quick release, which in hopes that users might actually use their blade guard assembly. We know that that doesn't always happen.
And Patty, that's a true riving knife behind the blade, correct? So it rises and falls with the blade.
So this is the riving knife.
Great.
Here's what we're talking about. That also fits in there. Some people aren't aware of exactly the purpose of that riving knife, but when you can't or won't use the blade guard assembly, most shops look like that.
Sure.
If you're going to have an accident, it's going to be potentially larger percentage is kickback.
Right.
Those boards come together, bind, hit those teeth, kick back out at you.
It's a classic rip cutting problem.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so when you're doing a non-through cut, or you just won't use this because you feel it's cumbersome or irritating, you do have the riving knife in place. It helps to keep that wood split and moving through.
So even in a non-through cut situation, say you're cutting rabbets or a dado or a groove and you're using a standard blade for some reason, you can leave the riving knife in place for a non-through cut? Great.
Exactly. So here, why it is called a true European style riving knife is it goes up and down with the blade. So as you said, on a non-through cut, you can move straight through, whereas obviously this wouldn't work.
Sure. So safety, you've always got that added measure of safety no matter what kind of cut you're making.
That is correct.
Great. Looks like a really stout fence on this saw, real classic T-square style fence. Can you tell us a little bit about the fence?
Yeah, so it is classic T-style fence, moves along the tabletop. We stepped it up a notch with our T-Glide with the adjustments here, easy adjustments, easy glide along the table. So when you bring it down, so you slide nice, everything's smooth, one hand, tap it in place. When you lock down, easy lockdown, no movement.
Only strong. And it looks like you can adjust it vertically in relation to the table as well as laterally in relation to the blade. Is that correct? There's 2 forms of adjustment on the fence?
Correct. You are correct.
Great.
I'm sorry, I understand what you're saying.
Great.
You can also, it's a small thing, it's a small little feature, but you can also bring the blade all the way down, move it to the left, and cut to up to 12 inches to the left of the blade. Small feature after small feature on our SawStop saws. We've done no different here than we did on our 3 horsepower table saw. We stepped everything up a notch to make it a better saw, not even counting the safety feature. So you get to keep your fingers, which is great, but the bonus of that behind the price point, what we were talking about, as you see it set up here, fully loaded with the mobile base, you're talking about $2,100.
And that's a pedal activated mobile base, so real easy to engage and disengage if you need to move the saw around the shop.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And the beauty of our mobile base is when the mobile base is not engaged, the saw is sitting on its own weight.
Oh, great.
So you have let's say this is close to 400 pounds, 350 to 400 pounds. The saw is down on its own weight. You don't want it on a mobile base that's a ½ inch off the floor.
Sure.
Even though it's locked, you're losing some of that weight.
Good stable platform.
Good stable platform. Though when you engage it, then it lifts it up off the ground, mobile. I can do it with one hand, drop back down.
Wow, that's great. And what are our fence options here in terms of length?
You have a 36-inch rip to the right of the blade, and you also have a 52-inch rip to the right of the blade. So with the T-Glide fence, you have this. We also have a lower option if you need a lower price point. You want SawStop, but you don't need all these upgrades. We have a $15.99 saw that's a 30-inch rip fence, stamped steel wings, just a basic model.
Sure.
But most home hobbyists that I've come in contact really appreciate the T-Glide fence.
And that was $1,599 for that lower price point saw.
That is correct.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Looks like a great saw, plenty of cast iron here, SawStop safety built in. This is the home shop woodworking tool if you're looking to upgrade the saw you've got now. Great, Patty, thanks much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.